We're live way before he starts. People see us
What's up,
live.
profitable stylists? We are coming at you this week with a very special guest, Vicki Kehr. But before we
Hi
get
there.
started, from last week, Bernard was referencing these sunglasses. Bernard, what are these sunglasses called?
Well, I went ahead and ordered the ones that say it right on the screen, so I don't know if you can tell. These are pit vipers, and every respectable mullet wearer has to wear pit vipers. I had never heard of pit vipers before, but I'm growing this little mullet out. Actually, my hair just grows big and bushy when it grows out. And I told my son before we went to this last hair show, I'm getting so bushy here, and I don't know how to blend it. And I said, what if we just go short here and it just doesn't blend here or here? He goes, Dad, it'll be a mullet. And I said, not a bad idea. I mean, I think
Okay.
that's when I look my best in my life. And then people started saying, you got to get pit vipers. And I'm like, what the heck is a pit viper? These ugly things.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh, God.
Bernard, there was a comment last week, and I tried standing up for you. You are not helping.
You tried.
You are not helping the argument right now at all. So Vicky Carr, welcome to Two
Vicky
Guys
Kehr.
Chat. Vic
Vicky
Care.
Kehr.
Son of a. Oh.
It's all good. It's
I
all
only
good.
practiced it 13 times.
No
Vicky, what
worries.
do you think about the pit vipers?
I mean, you can't have that haircut without those sunglasses.
Well, there you
That's
go.
definitely
You heard it
amazing.
from Vicky. So,
Yeah, that's a
Vicky,
home run. That's a home run right there.
who
Do
are
you
you,
ever?
Vicky? Who
I
are
I
you? Why do we
I
have you on
Who is
today?
your daddy and what do
I
you do? You see that
you
kindergarten cop with
couldn't.
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, you couldn't find anyone else, so you asked me. Just kidding. And I just happen to have nothing else to do. No, 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 this is great. Thank you guys for having me. So yeah, I'm Vicki Kehr. I am the administrator for Transitions International Group, which is a hair loss organization for studios all over the U.S. and we have some studios in Canada, France, and Australia as well. And
Okay.
yeah,
And I went to I mean, a lot of you guys that are following us know that I've been on this search for an interesting niche. With I don't know if it's niche or niche. I like the word niche better, but people say niche more often within the hair industry. I, being known as the profitable stylist, I'm looking for a more profitable way to do our business. And I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he was asking me what's unique about the profitable stylist. And I said, you know what I think is unique about Eddie and I is that we realize after you get out of school, your license, I should say your schooling covers this much, and your license covers more. And so you get out of school, and you're a licensed cosmetologist also, right, Vicki?
I am. Yes, I was
Yeah. So you
born
get
at hair. Yeah,
so
scissors
you
in my hand. Yeah, I've been in the industry my
born
whole
with
life. Yeah.
so you get out of school and you think, I don't think I can survive like I'd like to just cutting hair. So then you go into coloring and highlights, and then you're like, what else can I do? And you can do nails and feet and facials, and there's so many things. And then hair additions, hair replacement, hair extensions, wigs. There's just so much more that you can make money on. And a couple of weeks ago, I had gone to a another kind of niche kind of market thing, which was the AHLC, and we interviewed Janine about the American Hair Loss Council,
Yeah,
and it was
great
a
organization. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yep.
it was a small group, and you have to be a member to go to this thing, and so it wasn't cheap. And then I find Vicky and her group. It's an even smaller group, and it's even more expensive. Now, right off the top, more
I knew
expensive.
we were gonna go there. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
That's a good thing to me. That's a good thing to me. I mean, if people are willing to pay this big money to be a part of this group, there must be a reason why. And I don't think we have to jump right into it because I think that's the intriguing part. Like, why would people pay so much money to be a part of this? So, Eddie, on the surface, you're the odd man out here because you know nothing about this group, right? Do you have any questions before we get started?
So this is this is a hair replacement group. Like what is the specific purpose of this group?
So the specific purpose of the group is to provide marketing materials and business support to the members. So the group began in the first meeting actually was in June of 1990 with, I believe, seven hair loss pioneers. Um,
How many?
and seven
Oh, wow.
of the founding fathers. And they got together twice a year. And now, I know I've heard you guys talk about this previously. There was no internet. So they would get together to do marketing materials for print materials, flyers, uh, postcards, newspaper articles, um, and probably a little bit of the good old boys club. Got together and smoked some cigars, and but they were really the high level studio owners within the industry, and slowly, through networking, and it just started to grow more and more and more. And in 1994, it became a nonprofit organization.
Mm.
And so and I don't want to go on too long, but yeah, so the basis of the group became one member per demographic area, and they did it that way, the DMA, because with radio and TV, if there's one member in a demographic area, then there's no overlap of marketing materials. There's no conflict.
Oh.
Your competitors aren't sharing the same materials that you have, and that's really been the biggest, I think, the word is probably difference between our group and other organizations. I think there's a need for all of them that are out there, and it's and some of the the founding fathers now have gone on to their second generations, are still members, and now we're getting into third generation. So we've had some members that are over 30 years and had
Wow.
to have, and for a lack of a better word, have had to transition the group, right? So then we get into, the original. I read the bylaws, and you had to have a facsimile. To That's how they corresponded, or they sent mail, and now it's getting into social media, and so it's changed a lot in the 30 years of the group.
So then this is with by marketing. So by today's standard now, does that cover like social media and PR stuff and
It does. Right. So we've had to change it. Obviously, we're doing less and less TV and radio. Not that there's not a need, and some members kind of go back and forth with it. But the marketing materials that we do now more fit your website, social media platforms, Instagram. We do have some TikTok things that we've done. So
okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's really awesome. That's cool. Then and then do the members, do you hold conferences for the members to get together at some points
We
in the
do.
year?
Yep, yep, we do once a year. We have our annual conference. We used to have a conference twice a year, but we found that the memberships was either going half were going to one, half were going to the other. And
Mm.
not to say that we don't have 100% attendance at our annual conference, because life happens, right? Weddings, things happen. But we found that we were having a better turnout at that annual conference. But we also have a members portal, which is called the Edge, where we can keep in contact with the members, provide support all year long. And I think what stands out to me notably, and I don't want to get off, into a rabbit hole, but during COVID, we had to be, we couldn't do photo video shoots. There was the lack of hair. We couldn't be in small rooms. Studios were closed, so we were trying to be still give value to our members, and we were repurposing some old, not old, but more recent stuff to kind of change it up, give marketing materials that way. We even had some members that said, I don't want to market. I don't have the hair. I can't sell anymore. So it was educating them on the importance of keeping your face online and in front of your customers, even if maybe now you can't, quote unquote, not sell them, but give them the products and services that they need. But we also walked a lot of our members through how to get the essential waiver, so they could open up their studios, so they can be classified as an essential business, so they wouldn't have to do hair with the curtains closed. And I'm sure that happens in some other organizations, but being that our members aren't competitors, they're more open to share, right? So if you're in the Buffalo market per se, because I'm in Buffalo, um, you don't have to worry about sharing like how you're able to open, but you don't want your competitor to know, because that's all within our specific group. We also, my co-administrator Jesse is, we each have full-time jobs outside of what we do, and he works for a big bank, and he has finance background, and he was able to walk our members through the process of the PPP loans, some of the grants that were out there, and so different sort of support that we provided during COVID, but the main premise of the group is providing marketing materials and business support to them, and getting ideas from each other, and whether it's, you can get on the edge and say, hey, I can't find this tape, do you guys have any other suggestions? And it's just a great way to keep connected and not to feel like your competitors are knowing what you're doing.
Interesting concept, huh, Eddie?
That is a really, I'm like, my mind is racing 100 miles an hour. I have so many more questions formulated. You're right.
And there's a lot more to tell. Yeah.
No, don't apologize. Look, that is an amazing resource to be able to offer. There's too many things. I'll give you an example. I work for a distributorship locally in the Chicagoland area. We represent we represent 7 different manufacturers. Yeah, a stylist can call directly to that manufacturer and try to get assistance or help. But so many times, a lot of our local stylists in the area will call in to us and speak with me directly, and they'll use me as an information source, before they go to the manufacturer. And it actually is a huge compliment. I take it as a huge compliment. I take it very seriously. It's a big honor to me that people trust me enough to be able to provide them that information that they're looking for. It's a central source to go to. So similar to what you're describing, having a central source to go to, whether it's, especially marketing materials, I think that's one of the biggest struggles that people have. Like Bernard was saying, we get our education, we get out of school, we think we're going to do one thing. We don't realize that our license is so vast. We are a droplet in a freaking ocean of opportunity and possibilities, Right. I'm going to meet with a stylist later after this to talk about becoming a 6-figure income stylist. Bernard and I did a whole video series on how to become a 6-figure income stylist. So like how he was saying earlier, the profitable stylist has really evolved from what its initial thought and idea was to what it is today. And it's really just bringing people together to a central location. We're mainly cater to the professionals, but here on YouTube, consumers are the end user is seeing and hearing a lot of the things what we talk about. We don't go into very heavy specific things out of respect for the professional, but it's good information enough where it kind of evens out the playing field for everybody involved, So now everybody can truly understand what everybody else is going through. Oh, the kid in the back are you in the front row or in the back?
Look, I haven't been able to talk.
Oh, were you here?
My little boy in karate, they have to put their hand up like this, when they me sir. I wanted to give my.
I got excited.
Yeah, I love it. I love being able to sit back and just listen for a while. I got nervous that I wasn't talking. But so some weird things from my perspective. So Vicki just told us everything from the inside, and I learned some things there because I've only gone to one meeting. But from the outside looking in, I think it'll be kind of neat for Vicki to hear my perspective as an outsider who just heard rumors, didn't really know how this thing worked and how to get in. There was a lady, thank God for me, there was a lady in the New Orleans area that was a member of this group. And because of the old-fashioned Nielsen ratings, which TV did demographics, if they advertised for somebody, they gave you a demographic area. That's what their group uses. And I couldn't join this organization for years because she was in. And I was just leaving the AHLC a couple of weekends ago, saw her in the airport and said, I hear Transitions is next weekend. Are you going? And she said, I dropped that group. And I'm like, oh, that's sad. What? I haven't heard anything good about them either. Just kidding. I mean, I was so I called right away. How do I get in this group? And and I actually had heard good and bad about the group. And you
Yeah,
know, of course, people that are in and
yeah, any
what
group. Yeah,
any
any
group,
group.
any group. And so my outside understanding of the group was that some guys got together years ago before the internet, and before you could target market, you know, geo targeting and geo fencing and all these crazy Facebook and marketing terms through Google and Facebook and Instagram. There was just TV and radio for the most part, newspaper and
Right.
print. But my understanding was people pulled their money so they could do the 1-800 infomercial style commercials on TV, like Hair Club for Men. They were across the whole country. They're doing the whole country. So these guys wanted, but now I'm seeing that it was even more. It was more print and it was more like, hey, let's put a commercial together and then all use it. Because back then it was unlikely somebody in New York was going to see the same commercial as somebody in Louisiana. So we could share the same commercial, do it at either location. But now with the internet, it's a little more crossover, and the Nielsen rating thing doesn't work. But I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there right now because I think this is the part, Eddie, that's going to walk it back a little. Like you were saying, it's great to have this group and more people could benefit. No, only certain people can, and that's what I kind of like about this group. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vicki, but it's $230 a month to be a
It
part of
is.
this, right?
It
So that's
is.
the first walk back. It's like, okay, you can't just join because, oh, it's a good idea. I want these benefits. I'm gonna jump in. That's a little bit of a, I don't know, a hurdle on purpose kind of test. Like if you just started doing hair replacement as a stylist and you got 8 or 9 clients, probably not worth it for you. Not to mention, go ahead.
Yeah, so to kind of back up that 240 and get justification maybe. We have a
240,
public
not 230. 240?
230. I'm sorry, did I say 240?
Okay.
It's
I
230.
don't know. I heard
Um,
240. I thought you raised it on me
These
for
are
already.
stock
no,
market
I
pricing going on. Wait 5 minutes.
it's it's $10, Bernard. You get a cup of coffee, with 3 shots. So when you think about the 230 a month, over a year you're looking at $2,400, right?
Can't do the math that quick, but I believe you.
So we have a public facing website that we have a 1-800 number that when a member or a prospect calls that 1-800 number, it automatically reroutes to the studio that is closest to their area. One lead per year will more than pay for the dues that are, and then on top of that, you're doing not everybody is like Bernard and can be in front of the camera and do
Right.
videos on YouTube and we have a lot of members that they're great behind the chair. They don't want to be behind the camera. They don't know how to really do, and it used to be much more formal sort of production, right? Cameras, makeup, everything's perfect. Now everything's come kind of more relaxed, and still there's not people who are comfortable with iPhones or how to edit that stuff. So, sorry not to cut you off.
I'm not, no, no, you're fine. And I'm not, I'm so glad you justified it because that's kind of what I was going to bring up next, but you articulated it so much better. I was going to say it's not just for anybody and everybody because if you're just doing 8 or 10 clients, it's probably not worth it for you. But you get to a point where, I don't know, it's just a guess 40, 50 hair replacement clients or more. Maybe this is worth it to you. But wait, you think you want to get in, you get to this, you subscribe or apply. The members check you out and deem you worthy. You might not fit the group's I don't know, whatever they do, because I don't know what it is, because they haven't voted me in yet. But
You haven't applied yet,
I
Bernard.
know, I know. So I got to fill out all the paperwork. Then they're going to scrutinize me, and maybe I'm not even allowed to get in. You know what I'm saying? So they want to keep it likable. Everybody wants to like each other, and that's a good thing. I think it's a great thing. So I love the fact that it reminds me of college. You know, I tried a fraternity for a little while, and I know people love or hate fraternities, but it's like, why do people want to be in fraternities, whether you like it or not? I know you hate them, Eddie, but when you go to
Well,
join a fraternity, it's like this secret society, and there's going to be secrets that are you're going to die with that happen within the fraternity. And I kind of like that about this group. Let me talk. Can I talk about that for just a little bit? You want to talk? Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
do. So it's not a popularity contest. That's not what's going to get you in. If you are spending $100 a month in marketing, you don't have a website, you're selling hair systems for $200, and you don't have Viper sunglasses, you're not getting into the group. Um,
I'm gonna make it. I'm
mullet.
gonna, I'm
No,
gonna,
no, for real. Like, if you're not, if you don't have a website, yeah, sure, we can help you with the materials to build your website. But if you're not spending any money on marketing, um,
right.
you're not going to get any benefit out of our group, and you're going to be spending money and thinking, what am I getting for my money? So that's,
Right. Good point.
it's not, yeah, it's not whether we like you or not.
No,
It's
I hear
that,
you.
yeah, we don't want to, don't want to
One
disappoint
of
anyone.
one of the things I liked about what you said in the last meeting was that if any of you guys anywhere in the country have models that don't mind showing their before and afters, their bald head, and you think you could put a commercial together, you think you've got the chops to speak on camera, or we'll send someone in.
Mhm.
This $230 a month goes into this account that helps pay for that kind of stuff. So Eddie, let's say you got a hair replacement studio and you've got the customers, they will fly the video guys and all the equipment to your location. You provide the models, willing to give up a day, shoot commercials, and then everybody in the group gets to use those commercials on social media or wherever. If somebody is still using TV, go for it.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Eddie.
So they help you write the commercial. They help with the directing and the photoing and the videoing and the editing
Well, they
afterwards.
Well, they possibly will, but let's say somebody like me. Look, I've got this studio set up, I got the backdrop, I've got the customers. I think I could probably put together a pretty good commercial. Now, I could just hire all myself, but when I went to this thing, I thought, wait a minute, this could be a benefit for me. I'm not going to lose by letting other people across the country use my clients as for commercials. So I'm probably going to get together with Vicki if they accept me. I mean, I got the Vipers, but if they accept me in and I start paying and I'm a member, then I'm going to say, hey, I can put together a day or two of shooting. I already do it, and I'll bring some models in here and put together a commercial that I think would help sell hair replacement. Then they'll load it up to the website that they all share, and any one of the members in the whole country can download that commercial and use it in their local market, on TV, on the internet, on social media, or whatever. Does that answer your
And
question, Eddie?
yeah, and it can be tagged with it can be untagged, or it can be tagged with all their studio information as well.
Right. So if you want to customize it a
Wow.
little bit, put your name in the commercial, you could
Yeah,
pay a little
or
bit of
like
extra money to have it
right, a
customized.
call for action sort of, thing that you want to put on there. Yeah, so
So that's one of the benefits.
I am mind blown. I don't know. I think this is cool as hell. So, okay, fine. So you have the Coliseum style of approving or disapproving who joins, you
yeah.
know,
With his head.
So
off with his
yeah,
head. You got the membership dues. You got the monthly. Wait, is it a yearly membership due and then a monthly maintenance due?
When you go to the
it,
conference, that's an extra
yeah,
fee, right?
Okay.
Help cover hotels and all.
right.
Okay.
So it's 230 a month, and then the conference. This last conference was $430 to attend. And as I was explaining to Bernard earlier, that within our hotel we provide breakfast, lunch.
A
There's
lot of food.
breakouts, a lot of food, and
A lot of
honestly,
food.
I don't even think that money covers the food at the hotels. It's crazy money at these hotels. $7 for a granola bar, and so we don't make any money off the members. And maybe we'll touch on this a little bit later. But we have wetline products. We have some buying power with other vendors. And whatever we negotiate or products that are ordered on our website from our members, we don't make any money off of that. It's purely passed on those savings to the group.
You mentioned that earlier that some of your members will call in and they say they can't get certain materials or they can't get certain products. So
Mhm.
and now you're just mentioning it now as well. So you have a list of vendors that you work alongside with through
Well, let
through
me
the
let me let me
organization.
throw let me kind of give you a little bit better visual, Eddie, because you and most stylists that are watching this, and then if you're not a stylist, you can imagine like a home and garden show or a show that a fishing show, and they got all those booths trying to sell fishing stuff or home and garden stuff. for us at a hair show, there's a whole bunch of booths selling different hair products and tools and everything. Well, here it's like a micro mini hair show, but it's not focused on the vendors. So there's only like 6, 8. But how many vendors was at this last one?
6.
6 vendors. So it's a small hotel room with 6 vendors. So it's a micro hair show, but it's just a few of the vendors that have agreed to sell hair at a better rate to the members of this organization. So they each also get to come in there and pitch their product, because the group is kind of small, like a micro hair show. Like I told you, it's more like a business meeting, because it's 50 or 60 people in a room, all sitting at round tables. So it's not like audience style where you can't meet anybody. You're sitting at round tables, you're kind of eating with the same people, you're chatting, you're doing little group exercises. When there's a little break or a technical issue with the microphone, we're going to complain together at the table or get to know each other at the table. So you're forced to get to know the people at the table you're with, no matter what, good or bad, indifferent. It's just a lot of fun. So you leave with these people's phone numbers, so you're throughout the year chatting with those people. But the coolest thing, I think, which was kind of intriguing, was those vendors are in the room next door, and they each come do a presentation to the whole group one at a time. And the other vendors cannot come in the room unless that vendor said it was okay. So they get their private time to talk bad about the other vendors if they want to. They don't.
And luckily that hasn't happened. So.
Yeah, and some of them okay the other vendors to come in, and they come in and peek, and they're friends, and some are not, and it's okay. But then the most exciting part of the whole thing to me was at the very end, and I'm getting ready to have to fly out, and then they go, okay, so are all the vendors out of the room? Because this is the stuff I can't even talk about here, because this is the secret fraternity stuff I was kind of joking about. There's more benefits that can be shared than I can even share with the public, because it's member secrets on how they help each other out. That doesn't need what?
I like exclusive.
Exclusive secrets.
It's exclusive.
They're secrets, I promise. So these exclusive benefits are only to the members. And I was even asked, are you going to become a member? I think Leonard was getting ready to say, if not, you have to leave. And I'm like, I'm going to be a member. I want to know the secrets.
Yeah.
So the last benefit of the day was like, this one thing right here was totally worth joining this group. Not to mention, she kind of touched on some wetline products. They've got some hair growth products, some scalp, healthy scalp type products that they help provide at a very good price that you're not going to just find anywhere, that the members buy, and the organization Transitions doesn't make any money off of. I thought they should make money to help pay for these events, but she said, no, we don't make money on that. They make money on the membership, not make money, but collect money through the membership. And then I guess the yearly thing helps cover the hotel. So it's a fascinating concept that's different than any other group that I've ever even heard about or had the chance to possibly be a member of. So it's been extremely intriguing to me to be a member of this. Eddie, you're still mind blown. You look like
I am really blown away. All right, so I'm gonna. So this is what we need to do. I need to fly down by you so you can certify me in replacement, so then I can get with you, Vicki.
Somebody might have your territory.
Nobody has my territory.
After this call, Chicago's open?
Chicago's open. No, I know Chicago's open because I will take a drive. You look, we're ending this right now, so I can go handle somebody.
You'll open it up.
Yeah, I'll open it up, right?
You'll open it up.
It's the Chicago way.
Yeah, there is a lot of opportunity, and we've identified, and I think there's 225 demographic areas, and we have 160 open, rough numbers.
Yeah. So over 100 spots open for potential growth.
Right. And on our website, there is a become a member, and there's a whole list of where the open DMAs are. So.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So what is the website?
I do have yours still listed. It's Transitions. You know what? It just recently it's transitionshair.org.
Transitionshair.org.
Yes.
Okay.
It used to be
RJ will put that in the description.
Yeah, for sure. Let's put that in the description. Yeah.
So, it's just fascinating to me. I've been a hairdresser for 30 years and I've known about this for over a decade, but didn't really understand the benefits. I wasn't overly sold on it. And I think because it's such a private type of group, it's not openly advertised because once your area is gone, they don't really want to market in my area for another member. It's done. So with geo targeting now, they could specifically advertise in an area, but why do they need to? They're wildly successful. They've got all the money they need. They're all sharing pretty well now. There is openings, but they don't need the members, but they'll welcome some decent ones if they want to come in. So to me, the positioning is strong. It's like we don't need any more, but if some good people wanted to come along and add some value, sure, we would love to have you. And that's just
and
what a
yeah,
great position to be in.
it is, and even what the traffic that we're able to see through our website and the 1-800 number, and if we have, you can submit information right to our website, and then we ship that lead to the member directly. Now we have a side, obviously, there's submissions coming through where we don't have a member, so that's a good opportunity for us to say, hey, I see somebody in the Houston DMA. We got a lot of traffic. We got a lot of interest, a lot of people coming through the 1-800 number. Then we'll reach out to studios there. So, and that's a nice, kind of carrot too to show. Listen, this is the traffic that's coming through our website specifically for your area. One
Right.
lead will cover your lead
That,
fees.
let's do that, Vicky. Let's do that. In my head, the the last thing I can't even talk about, the discount on something that came up in the group, the one we can't talk about, one, that's one thing that makes this whole thing worth joining. If you got one customer from the website for hair replacement, that's more than enough to cover the whole year. The wetline products for hair growth, she sent me these before and after pictures of, and said so and so, just this one lady sells or buys.
She is a member and a studio owner, and she had COVID, and her own before and after photos are pretty powerful.
Of her hair. And she buys or sells, how much did you say? How often?
Sells about $20,000 a month in the
In
products.
in
Mhm.
selling the products.
Selling
So
products.
that's
Mhm.
that one thing alone, if you're going to get that product line, would be worth joining. If you are a retailer and you could sell retail, that right there, everybody wants their hair to grow back. It's especially after COVID. Even my own mother lost all of her hair since COVID. She had the thickest hair I've ever known. So I'm wanting to give it a try myself. So there's two or three other things, just the hair buying discounts from the few companies and vendors that showed up there. Depending on how much hair you buy, that could be a benefit right there.
Well, that
The
marketing and that support that they're providing as well
the
too
commercials,
sounds
yeah, the
amazing. The
commercials,
commercials, the 800 number.
practically free. I mean, if you're a member, you don't pay for the commercial. You just get it and use it. I know when I do commercials, I mean, I checked with her guys in New York and my guys locally to get a really good 30-second commercial to use. It's usually about, I don't know, somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500. And can you imagine at $1,500 for one 30-second commercial? Are you going to just want that one all you know? No, you're probably going to have two or three throughout the year if you're advertising or marketing. Right there, just getting the commercials to use is worth the money to join. So there's so many benefits to this. It's like a no-brainer. It's just that it's, I guess the exclusivity of it makes it where a lot of people just don't know about it because they don't need you. I know that sounds rude, but Eddie, they don't need you. But you want to be in, don't you?
No, but that's an advertising in itself, see?
It is. It's intriguing, right?
And that's
Right.
really what we
Well,
do with our clients with hair replacement as well or hair extensions. Everybody wants it, not everybody is a candidate for it. But man,
right,
once somebody gets it, do they feel good and do they want more?
right.
That's interesting.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and a lot of our meetings, I mean, it's sharing how do you do a consultation? How do you, what do you do with laser? Some of the newer things coming into the market like PRP and scalp pigmentation. It's not just, and a lot of our studios do surgical, so they do transplants as well. So for members who maybe aren't in those sectors yet, but are looking to get into it, they're openly sharing, what doctors do I use? This is where I went for the training. This is what you have to do for PRP. This is what you don't want to do with PRP. Um, so as we're bringing in members, if they need to benefit from that, because that's the only way they're going to see value in the group. So, and that's where it comes from. If you're not looking to expand, you're comfortable right where you are. You don't want to grow your website. You don't want to spend any money advertising. Then this isn't the group for you.
Let's talk about surgical for just a second because that's a powerful Eddie. I don't think a lot of people realize like you and I right now can open up a surgical hair replacement business, but we don't think we can because we're not doctors. We think you have to be a doctor to open it. But I've been in business long enough now to realize many surgical suites are just owned by businessmen and they hire doctors. So as a hair replacement studio, I can have a room cleaned up and OSHA approved and hire a doctor to come in once a week, once a month, once a quarter. All I got to do is do the marketing and advertising, sell somebody on it, and then set them up with the doctor on a certain day and certain time, and they get transplants. So that's a part that I didn't even dive into. Some of these people have surgery done in their studios and they're not doctors. So it's just one more like thing that you don't even need a cosmetology license to do or own.
So then,
It's just super profitable.
okay, clarify this for me. I have a couple of med spas in the area that always ask me to come in and help them with
You
color
can't
and
do
haircuts.
surgery. You cannot do
No, no,
surgery.
no, no. I'm not looking to do surgery myself. What I'm saying is there, I think everybody when they hear surgical stuff and it involves hair, they just automatically think med spa. But it's not necessarily just med spas because those guys do
Well,
Botox injections and fillers and other.
let me let me speak to that just a little bit.
Or like
Med
plastic surgeons, right?
Yeah,
well, med
plastic
spa is
surgeries
just
and stuff.
it's just the new wave or the new term for it's the new fancy place because okay, so salons were the place to get your hair done, and then there was hair replacement studios, and then people would go to the spa for what? Facials and massages for the most part, maybe some manicures, pedicures. That was the spa. So I think what they did was they tried to make medical procedures not sound so uh, I don't know, so serious, and they're trying to make medical procedures sound and feel like a relaxation type of thing. So they kind of join the words med and spa together. Like, oh, come get a massage. Oh, let's go ahead and cut your face open. So
Yeah,
um,
it's glamorous, right? It's the glamour.
right. It's all about plastic surgery for looking better. You're looking better, but none of it is. It feels really good. I know because my wife gets what they call a vampire facial, and she gets all the her whole face looks like she fell off a motorcycle and she got all but she won't let anybody see her for a few days, but they bring a lot of blood to the surface, and it doesn't feel great and doesn't even look great for a minute, but so you wouldn't call it a relaxation service, but they kind of join in these words to bring medical into a comforting feeling possibly. So that's all med spa is. And so yeah, they've joined some of the salon services along with it, like Botox, and they'll do some eyebrows and micropigmentation. And also some will go as far as facelifts and transplant surgery. They don't all do the same thing. A lot of people open up little med spas and they're just like just doing lips and eyes and Botox, and they're not doing much of anything else. And then some expand into much more depending on the, some people call them med spas and they don't even have a doctor or a nurse in there. It's just a hairdresser. And so then you bring every state is different too. So then you bring a nurse practitioner or there's a few different terms of higher level nurses before doctors come along. Some states you don't have to have a doctor on premises. Some you do. Some you just have to have a doctor on the license as part ownership or something, like here in Louisiana. So med spas are all across the board, all across the
But it
country.
is very different from hair replacement studios.
Yeah, but some of them are doing some hair replacement in their med spas.
Right, right. So okay, right, but that's no, that's what I was trying to get at though. This is hair replacement is very very different. Seeing a hair replacement specialist is a very different thing. And it's like
So, so let me make sure. I want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing because this is a very confusing thing in our industry. Hair replacement is really basically done two ways: surgical and non-surgical. And a lot of people just hear hair replacement. We're going to replace your hair, and they think that we're doing transplants right away. It's a fact. As a matter of fact, I thought it was interesting that Max, you met Max at the
Yeah.
AHLC. Max from Hair Scheme, he was in an apartment. He came from France to start the company here, and he was in an apartment for a couple of years. So he finally got his first house. He said, Bernard, I'm moving into my house. I'm outside. My neighbor's cutting his grass. He comes over, and you meet your neighbors. Hi, I'm Max. Hi, how are you? He said, and the guy asked, so what do you do for a living? Because it always comes up. And he says, I operate a hair replacement. And he said, I'm trying to figure out how to say it. And I say hair replacement. And he goes, oh, he said, of course he takes off his hat and he's bald like most men. And he goes, oh, you could do transplants on me? And he said, and he's got his French accent, which I cannot do. And he's like, oh, no, sir, we don't do surgery. And he said, I try to explain it. And we hate to use the word glue in our industry. We like to say adhesive because it sounds more professional. But when you're talking to somebody like this that doesn't understand what you do, and you say, no, we glue hair on somebody's head. And they're like, oh, like a toupee? Like, oh.
Yeah.
So.
And then, of course, they always go, it's going to fly off like in all the movies.
Right. So we've got that hurdle to fight, because hair replacement, sure, it is non-surgical. So it's everything from a wig, a toupee, a hairpiece, and it's just gotten better over the years. The membrane is so thin and skin-like that when you pull somebody's hair back like that, that's what it looks like. I mean, look, you can't even tell, can you?
No, your hairpiece looks amazing.
So at these conferences, everybody always looks at my hairline and they're like, is that real? And I always say, if you can't tell, why would I? And so that's where I leave them. Nobody knows if I wear hair or not. I do it, so I must wear it. Some people just have a little system right up here, and you can never tell. Some people's hairlines look really good. But the fact is now it's like skin or lace. Hey, you guys have seen the movie Troy with Brad Pitt, I'm sure, right? Is it Brad Pitt in Troy? Yeah.
It's Brad Pitt.
And they, like, I'm going to ruin it for some people. He finally dies at the end, right? Gets shot in the Achilles heel. It's kind of like the Achilles.
I'm not going to watch it. Okay.
Spoiler alert, he dies. But, I mean, he kills so many people through the whole movie. He's such a good fighter. Right at the end when he dies and he lays on the battlefield, they zoom in on his face because, that's what Brad Pitt's got. And you can see his lace hair system. And I was like, oh, my God, he's got a hair system on.
I have to watch that now.
Yeah. And so it was so good throughout the whole movie. And lace looks really good. And all lace and skin systems look good these days. But when you blow somebody's head up on the big screen in a movie theater and their head is like 20 times bigger than it's supposed to be, it's like a magnifying glass. And I don't think most people could notice, but I could notice the lace right along the edge. And I was like, wow. So that's what they've been using in movies for a long time before the public was able to get them, but they were super expensive. And so hair replacement manufacturers have learned how to mass produce a strong enough membrane that would last, because on set hair wouldn't last that long. Looked really good, but fell apart kind of quick and was super expensive. But movies had the money. So when they made the membrane strong enough and durable enough to last, that's when we really blew up as an industry about, I don't know, probably over the last 15 to 20 years when skin and lace became so undetectable. Now hairdressers across the country are wanting to jump on board and do hair replacement. They want to do women more than they want to do men, but in most cases, we have some no-shave techniques now, but in most cases, you have to take that last little bit of hair off the top of someone's head. So when you shave it, a little harder to talk a woman into taking off that last bit of hair she has on top to glue or adhere a hair system on top. Although it looks amazing when you do, and taking that hair off makes it look and feel even better. That's kind of where our industry has come on the non-surgical side. Looks really good, really comfortable, but it's basically bonded on and has to be taken off, put back on every month. And that's where the incredible money is made in our industry. The service, take it off, put it back on, and charge every month to do it. Now, there's the surgical side that everybody thinks is what we do because we haven't explained that other side well enough. And so on that side, yep, they cut you open. They take hair from the sides of your head, put it on top. Eddie, did you freeze? Did we lose you?
No, we got some comments, so I'm trying to respond because...
Yeah, ask them in a minute. So on the surgical side, there's no adding hair. and I'm just doing this for the public. I know you know this already, Vicky, but there's no adding hair. People will say, "Well, I think I want surgery," or "I'm not sure which one I want," and it's not always up to the client. It's
Not
sometimes
everyone is qualified for transplants.
right. So if you have a large bald area, you a lot of times you don't have enough donor area to fill the area up here. So they take the hair from here or here and move it up to the top. And it doesn't matter where you move the hair around, you just spreading the hair out. You don't end up with thicker hair on your head. You just end up with it in different places. And sometimes you don't have enough. So
Right.
that you have to do. So I have a
Yeah.
good relation. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, density comes from you're not going to get a full head of hair with one transplant. It comes
Right.
from two or three, and I think that is
And having enough.
and having enough.
Yeah. So I got a good relationship with a plastic surgeon in Metairie, which is near New Orleans. And the people that don't have enough hair, she sends to me. And the ones that come in who really wanted surgery and have little bitty bald areas, and I'll tell them, surgery is an option for you. I'll go over all the downsides. It takes a while to grow in. It is surgery. You will bleed. It'll hurt a little bit, but it's all worth it in the end because it'll grow and you don't have to pay me for maintenance every single month for years to come.
And it's sorry, Bernard, but and
No,
it's
you're fine.
progressive. And it's progressive. It slowly grows in. It's not going from completely bald to a full head of hair. That's
Right.
always
Mm.
always the biggest fear. Like, so I always tell guys, like, grow goatee or a beard or something. But yeah,
Throw them up.
I can go on about this too. There's still always that stigma about non-surgical hair replacement and toupees and whereas boob jobs, teeth, plastic surgery, lips, we see it all over the place. That's acceptable, but to improve your hair, it's improved a lot over the last 5 years, especially with everything that we're seeing on YouTube. People are showing more, they're sharing more, they're telling their stories. And I do feel that change in the trend as well. But sorry, not to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
No, no. How
That was
does
good.
how does transitions group help then when either a consumer is calling in looking for information or a stylist calls and says, uh, you know, between surgical and non-surgical, your group helps with both sides of it.
Yes. So not every member does surgical. Um, there are some of them are close enough together that they can send their clients to another member's center if they do surgical.
Full
Um,
triple for surgical because you get it done and there's no monthly service. You might get it done 2 or 3 times every 6 months to a year over a few years, and then you're kind of done with it. So you can literally hop on a plane and fly to another state. So we can recommend somebody go anywhere and get that done.
Hmm.
It's worth it for surgery. But when you're doing cosmetic is the best word I can say, cosmetic hair replacement, there's monthly service, which is good and bad. Vicki spoke to the biggest benefit of cosmetic surgery. You go from no hair to hair in an hour, boom, or
Hmm.
less. You have hair, instant gratification. Not everybody is gonna wants to wait on the other side or has the hair to do it. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
but to me,
Yep, I cut you off.
uh, no, no,
Did you
no.
lose it?
I think I cut you off actually. And you kind of another benefit to our group talking about with transplants is that if I have a client here in Buffalo who's a snowbird and goes to Florida every year, we have a member to member program where we can refer that client to that studio in Florida, and there's no competition. The rules are they can't sell them hair, they can do the service rate that if the studio has a contract with that um, client, then they pay the other studio for the service, and it's another added benefit for the client within the studio to know that if they do travel, they can go to a Transitions International Group member and know that they're going to receive quality service. They're not having to find someone that they don't know because it's already hard enough to find a stylist that you're comfortable with. And the owners get on the phone, they talk about what the application process is, if there's any special needs, and then say they're going to be there for 3 months and they need hair. Well, the original studio will send the hair to the servicing studio. it's just great. It's just another added benefit for your customers if they're traveling or if they're out of the area for a few months.
I think Eddie's in.
I no, I love everything I'm hearing. You know, it's really the industry has shifted tremendously in the past 5 years. It really has. And in a positive way, what I'm the most excited about is the openness and willingness of stylists to share with other stylists, to team up with each other, to network amongst each other, and to try to help each other out. For, you know, talking about stigmas and stuff like that, for far too long, it was always me versus you type of thing. It was always my clients, don't steal, don't this, don't that, exclusive this, exclusive that. You know, nowadays it really has become, look, let me do, you know, I'll do your hair if I'm not around. Go to Bernard. If he's awake, he'll do your hair. And, you know, and if you don't, right? And otherwise, go see Vicki because she knows how to do it. She's the one that taught both of us how to do it anyways. So I mean, it really, I love where the industry has evolved to, especially in this past 5 years. And having a group like this just makes it sound like that environment altogether, and it's just bringing in that, how you say it properly, camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Right,
Thank you.
right.
Say it, Eddie. Say it, Eddie.
My
See, I know. Then yeah, put you on spot, and then you're always going to mess it up. But and that's where I see the benefit of other groups like the American Hair Loss Council. Absolutely fantastic. They're a great training organization, and
They do provide a lot of education.
a
Yeah.
lot of education. And then there's our group who are, we're exclusive to experts within the hair replacement industry is how I like to view our members. So
Some
um,
education. There was some education there
there's some
too,
education. Yeah,
but it
absolutely.
was
We can always learn. And we had a breakout class for that hair skiing hosted for us. Now, an interesting fact about hair skiing, and not Eric Famishon, who is the owner of hair skiing, is also a member. He's been a member for many, many years. So, it's neat that, and we do have members that have products too, and or that have companies that then offer to our group.
what I
So,
hope to do. I hope to be a member and sell the on-stage hair extensions at
yeah,
the
absolutely.
next.
I mean, extensions generally for women are the first thing that they come in for. They're not always,
Right, right.
they're because extensions are more fashionable than a hair system or a hair piece. We used to call it a top of the head extension. That made them feel a little bit better, even if it was something that we clipped in or bonded on. It was just giving a new name than a
Many of
topper or
many of my lady hair replacement clients tell their husband and family they have extensions because hair
right.
extensions are socially acceptable. So
Yes,
that's what they
yes,
say. Yeah.
exactly. Right.
Wow, guys, it's almost been an hour.
Wow.
I've run out of things to
Oh
say.
wow. Okay.
No.
You? Wow, I never thought that would
That was
happen.
fun. No,
That
That
was
was
fun.
that was
fun.
fun.
Yes.
Any
I
more information, Vicky, about how people we gave the website? That's pretty much it. How they'd find you
Yeah,
through.
so yeah, if you go to the website transitionshair.org, you can see where the open DMAs are. You can also apply to be a member. I believe I can share my contact information as well. Any other questions and any walkthroughs that I can give of our public facing website, as well as our members only portal, where all of the past it functions a lot like a Facebook. So again, there's chats, any questions, any needs that any of the members have, they can bounce it off each other rather than, and then the whole members can see the answers rather than just calling individually. There, that does happen as well, but then the whole group sees some of these answers. So
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's one of the benefits is they got a place within the website called the Edge, and it's a like a chat forum. It's like a I mean, for it's kind of like Facebook, but not Facebook. It was the original chat way that's very private, so it doesn't end up out there, and it's only for members. So so later today they have a Zoom meeting that Vicky's going to be leading. I'm going to be on. You can't be there, Eddie, because you're not a member. And nah, nah, boo, boo. So, and they're going to go over one of the big benefits that happened at the meeting for the members that couldn't be there. They're going to reiterate, and some people like me that were there are going to kind of be refreshed on the idea, see if anything new or different is said. And so there's more meetings throughout the year, but they've been chatting on it. chatting about it in this little chat forum, and some people are interested, some have questions, and so it's just neat that it's more than just the yearly meeting.
That's
Also,
cool. That's super
so you
cool.
said you wanted to share some personal information or how to get in touch with you. What do you mean, like an email, a website, a phone number?
Yep. So my direct phone number, I don't know if you want me to say it right now.
Yeah,
No,
say
we'll
it, and then
put
RJ
we'll put it in the comment section.
in the description.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So
I'll
you
include
text
my
it to
email
Ed.
address. Yeah, my email address is quite lengthy, so I'll rather than just say it, I'll
Text
share
it all to
with
Eddie,
you.
and then he'll get
No,
it
I've
to.
learned my lesson. This is the rules of the internet. We'll put it in the comment section.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're going to be getting all kinds of crazy ass phone calls, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not afraid. I can handle it. I'm
I already,
only, yeah. Eddie,
I
I'm
already
only four,
call her.
yeah.
I already.
I'm only 4'10", but I have big shoulders. Thank you guys. This
Awesome.
has been awesome. Yeah.
Vicki, we really appreciate you hanging out with us today. This has been a
it's fun.
blast.
Thank you.
Pit Viper, I don't know what to say to you anymore. I can't even look at you. And you are not helping me trying to stick up for you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your comments. And yeah, let us know some more what you all think.
I think my ears are crooked.
Transitionshair.org. Check it out. Link is in the description. Catch you all next week. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.